In this exercise, we will continue with creating our Cant alignment. To be able to create your Cant, you need to first create a speed table. We have done that in the previous exercise, so we'll continue with creating our Cant. So I come to my Rail workflow and select Create Cant. So Cant is, or we call it Rail Super Elevation. I select my Create Cant command, select my geometry. This is my track main alignment. And then it asks me for a start and end station. So I press Alt key to lock to the start, and I again press Alt key to lock to the end of my geometry. You can also create a Cant alignment for a part of your geometry. In this case, we'll create it for whole geometry. I accept. Now I'll continue with using my heads-up display. It asks me for a speed schema. As you remember, we have express and freight speeds defined in our speed table, so I just select the express one. I select the applied constant as 7.1, rotation about the inside rail. Rail gauge, this is actually the center to center distance. This value will be used to calculate the equilibrium constant. So I just give 1.5 meters. Virtual transition length. The virtual transition length is needed where we have sections that do not contain spirals. In our geometry, we have two curves and both of them has spirals defined, so we don't actually need this value. But in general, if you don't have a spiral, then this value is used as the Cant transition distance. So I just accept the value here, and then again this value is tied to the virtual transition length. So 50% means that if there is no spiral, the 50% of transition length will be applied before the curvature point, the start of the curve, and 50% of the remaining transition will be applied through the curve. Again, these 2 points, the virtual transition length and part on line values, are not needed in here as we have spirals in all of our curves, but we still select them. Also, before finishing the command, please mind that you select the feature definition as Cant, and also name this new alignment, new Cant calculation as Cant. Okay, I accept this, name prefix as Cant, and now the Cant geometry is created. You can see this green envelope, which represents our Cant geometry. To see our Cant table, Cant Editor, we click on Edit Cant button and select our Cant, newly created Cant. And the program just opens the Cant Editor. In this editor, you can see that there are sections to the left. So the top one is, as you can see, your whole geometry. The other ones are your are your ranges based on your speed table. In here, we have 3 points. So toggle Cant diagram just opens or closes this diagram at the top. Toggle virtual sections, if I click this, it will hide the sections where no Cant is applied. So this is very useful. So I just hit that and you see that it hides the sections where there is no Cant applied. So if I look at here, I see that this first section, this is coming from my speed table, has a Cant value here, and this is my second section. So again, this left-hand side is defined based on your speed table. In the Cant Editor, we can see various values for our Cant calculation. That includes applied Cant value, the efficiency, the speed that is used for calculation, etc. You can change the applied Cant value using clicking on here. And if you change a value, it will also update the other values. Also, if you after creating your Cant, if you, for example, change the radius of a curve or change something in your geometry, the Cant values will be automatically updated based on this new geometry value. So here, let's use the last button in here, which is validate data. I click this, and let's say, for example, in this design, we don't want to have Cant values, applied Cant values higher than 80 millimeters. So I just click here, the applied Cant, enter a value of 80 millimeters, and hit OK. Now, what happened is now the values that has higher applied Cant values, that is in here, this first curve has 102 millimeters, they are highlighted in red. Please mind that this validation doesn't change the Cant value. So it is just a feedback. So if you see that, you need to go and change the applied Cant value or the design speed or geometry, but the validation doesn't modify the values. And you can close the Cant Editor using close button.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.